Hello, everyone. I'm Roadrunner,
And I'm Night Browser.
and you're watching Rock and Alt read through, where we explore the various movements of Billboard's Rock and Alt charts. Today, we will be dealing with the fallout of the last few episodes since nothing really notable happened this week. And as always, we start with our Rock and Alt wall with four dinosaurs at the top, and seems to be having songs seem to be having a harder time breaking through it. Uh,
Uh,
I
oh
wanted
yeah.
to start us off with that Night Browser.
Oh yeah. At number one, we have Something in the Orange by Zach Bryan on its ninth week at number one. It's 51st week on the chart too. On some unwavering, strong seeming, notable radio as always. It'll probably stay at the top next week. At number two, we got Until I Found You by Steven Sanchez on its 56th week on some falling yet relatively strong streaming, also some good and stable radio as well. We'll probably stay at this spot for the foreseeable future as well. At number three, we got Bad Habit by Steve Lacy on its 31st week on very strong yet falling streaming. We could see this lowering soon as streaming continues to drop, but for now, it's held at number three as our number four. Sunroof by Nicky and Daisy on its 62nd week, still holding very steady as radio clutches onto it, so no surprises. There is a huge gap between it and our number 5, which is Need a Favor by Jelly Roll, which continues to rise up from 7 last week as its sales in radio continues to rise, with some Amazon streaming to help it as well. This could definitely keep making a run towards the top, especially if more streaming by more markets gets behind it. At number 6, we got Ceilings by Lizzie McAlpine, staying put from last week, which could decline soon as streaming continues to stall, with radio being incredibly slow to pick it up. This could go anywhere at this point. At number 7, we got Dawns by Zach Bryan featuring Maggie Rogers, up a spot just from streaming remaining stable. Other than that, it doesn't have much legs in the top 10, unfortunately. At
Mm-hmm.
number 8, we got Boyd by Melanie Martinez down here from number 5 as the initial album impact fades away. Other than that, yeah, just pretty good streaming that seems to be thankfully not holding too well. This was very much expected, so no surprises. At number 9, we got Here With Me by David, which re-enters the top 10 after dropping out briefly last week to the album bomb. This is back here more so from strong songs above it last week becoming weaker as this remains stable. And at number 10, we got Lost by Linkin Park, as it's also back in the top 10 after leaving it for the past few weeks, as its streaming is very decent, and a boost coming from the re-release of Meteora, and has a high amount out of both alt and mainstream rock airplay. If they ship this to pop soon, I wouldn't be surprised. Why don't you go to the talk about our losers and dropouts, Roadrunner?
Of course. Melanie's entire album lost off the debut, but all of them stayed on the chart itself. Yay.
Uh,
Not Strong Enough by Boy Genius falls to 44 off of its re-entry last week, and both debuts sadly drop out.
oh.
Three Lana Del Rey songs remain on the chart: A&W, Paris, Texas, and Let the Light In, but continue to drop at 45, 48, and 49 respectively.
I
And
wonder
so,
if I wonder if A and W has enough points to make the Rock and All year end. We'll see.
yeah, we'll have to see about that. It like peaked really high, but it might drop out next week. So,
Oh
um,
yeah.
yeah, and surprisingly, Fighting Myself by Linkin Park continues to drop even with the album release, as it's down to 41 this week. And
Oh
no
yeah.
songs go recurrent, which is no surprises as the last two album bombs like massacred all the songs that were hanging onto the chart. Um,
Yeah.
for our gains and reentries, we actually had a lot more going on due to the fallout of the past 2 weeks. We actually have some pretty interesting reentries this week. This week, four in total. Our highest reentry this week
Mm.
is "Drive Me Crazy" by Lil Yachty, which reenters at 27 from a strong streaming boost due to it being attached to his latest single, It's called Strike a Holster, which sadly did not count for this chart.
Aw.
Yeah. Uh, Other reentries include Separate Ways, Worlds Apart by Daughtry, and I think Izzy Hale.
Lizzie Hale.
Lizzie Hale.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, uh, as its mainstream rock airplay run stays strong. Um,
Oh yeah.
Glue Song by Biabadoobie back at 47. I expect this to get somewhat of a boost next week since she's releasing a remix with Claro. Um, I think either tomorrow or Friday. Um,
Mm.
and Green Green
Mm.
Grass by George Ezra at 50, re entering at 50. Um,
Mm.
Now for our gainers. Biggest gainer this week, thankfully, Straight and Arrow, as it soars from its debut last week at 38 all the way up to 13. Can definitely see this continue to rise, at least hopefully.
Ooh.
Yeah. Um, Other notable gains include the summoning up to 38 after re-entering at 50 last week.
I hope this lasts until that Sleep Token album comes next month. I wonder how
Oh,
high will peak once that gets released.
oh yeah, that'll be interesting. Blue Hair Girl by TV Girl up from 32 to 20 this week. Um, can I say so? TV Girl has like 4 to 5 um, uh, entries on Spotify right now, and for some reason they're only counting this song. It's so weird.
We, yeah, pretty weird. I guess some of them fall into under recurrency roles. I guess.
Yeah, so random. And Helen Back by Bakar gets a nice boost from 22 last week all the way up to 11. Um, will probably peak at 11. I don't see this going any higher. Um,
Unless they like ship it to pop radio or
oh,
something.
God.
Uh,
Yeah. um, but yeah, now we can finally get to our debuts. And we only had two this week. So let's get to our number 37 this week, Milk of the Siren by Melanie Martinez. Um, so, I swear to God, we can't escape this woman. Having to, we literally started our show right at the beginning of her album rollout, which is just really hilarious. Um, and I'll give it this. This deluxe track is like better than 90 to 95% of her actual album. I don't know if I'm alone on this. The instrumental sounds more full and it has more of an R&B leaning to it actually that I picked up on. She herself is like by far the worst part of it. Her vocals and lyrics, that again that faux edgy shit again just is the crux of this entire thing.
yeah, you're not on thinking this was better than most of that album. Here, she's trying to go for this more gothic, soulful sound, similar to Hoisier. The instrumentation here is more full fledged than I expected. I thought the lyrics speaking it out against the historical persecution of women weren't badly executed, even if I
Mm-hmm.
prefer pretty much any other female artist to cover this kind of subject matter.
Yeah.
Also, another plus, the vocal effects on Melody here are utilized a lot more tastefully than most of the tracks on the OG album. With all that said, though, she still does not have the vocal prowess to sell this gothic bot.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, the production still has that flat, edgy sheen all over it that makes it hard to take the song seriously. Like I've heard worse from her, but this still isn't very good.
Yeah. Um, and to our number 33 this week we have Meeting the Master by Greta Van Fleet. Um, we have here what seems to be the lead single of Greta Van Fleet's new album. And something I realized while listening to this is I don't think I'll ever like the lead singer's voice. It's really squeaky and self serious. Um, but that's really my only gripe with this because even though his annoying voice does bring it down a lot, and also the lyrics are like also like annoyingly vague too. The one huge thing the song has going for it is that awesome building instrumental as the song goes on, and I think um, I can kind of excuse the vague lyrics because it's trying to make like there's not much lyrics to the song, but it's trying to make space for that instrumental to build.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
and yeah, I mean they're basically known for being a pretty blatant Led Zeppelin ripoff, and I would like call this like a decent tier 3 out of 5
Mhm.
Led Zeppelin song, basically.
Yeah, while I've never hated this band like many seem to have, I can't say I love them either. And while this is alright, it doesn't really change my generally neutral opinion on them. Like you said, I like the gradual build up throughout, which does sell the anticipation of being a supreme deity as shown in the lyrics. And the rootsy but striking production, courtesy of Dave Cobb, best known for his work for many alt country artists, does
Mhm.
help. What
Yeah,
keeps me from getting into it more, though, is the band themselves, who still seem to be in diet Led Zeppelin mode. And coming from someone who will give this brand of straightforward, no frills mainstream rock relatively more of a pass than most, this doesn't have a lot of weight to it. It's alright, it's one of the better songs I've heard from them, but I'm
yeah,
hoping
same.
they'll eventually grow beyond just copying from the past.
Yeah, well said. I mean, we don't have much, so this week we're only gonna do best and worst of the week.
Oh,
What did
yeah.
you end up giving it to?
Yeah, best of the week by default goes to Mean the Master by Greta Van Fleet, while worst of the week, mostly by default, it goes to Milk of the Siren by Melanie Martinez.
Uh, yeah, same here. Best of the week for me, Meeting the Master by Greta Van Fleet, and worst of the week, Milk of the Siren by Melanie Martinez. And I think that's all for today's episode. Pretty quiet
Yeah,
on the debut front.
yeah.
Next week we should definitely be expecting some Metallica debuts.
Ooh.
Maybe that new viral David Kushner song. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Hmm. I haven't heard it yet, but judging from what I'm heard, I'm a little concerned.
Yeah. I can it, I can see Billboard classifying it as all. We'll have to see what they do with the song. But yeah. I, one thing I was actually gonna say. I just find it funny. We both had 4 Melanie worst of the weeks in a row to open up the show. Uh, yeah, uh, that is just so funny. But yeah, we would definitely appreciate a like and a subscribe. You know you want to. And really, just thank you to everyone who watches this series. We appreciate you very much. I'm Roadrunner,
And I'm Night Browser.
and we'll see you next episode.